Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about liquidity sweeps. All right. So what is a liquidity sweep, you may ask? Well, let me tell you, Timmy. A liquidity sweep is when price goes above a high liquidity pool or below a low liquidity pool. And then this, what should I call it? This gathering, right? This gathering of these positions at that price level oftentimes causes price to move in the opposite direction and then create a new trend, okay? This is the opposite of trend line because trend line shows a strong market bias in one direction, right? You sweep the previous low, you continue the downtrend, and you keep sweeping the previous low, right? So price has no intention of going higher, right? We just keep making these little retraces to push down even further, right? We can see that in this uptrend. Create higher low, push higher, continue uptrend until we hit a certain point where market wants to reverse and then create a downtrend, right? So let's try to find some good examples of liquidity sweeps. Wow, this looks horrible. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, March has been a very volatile month, but it's been very oscillatory as well. So it's been a pretty difficult month. All right. That's not a good pool right there. Maybe the S&P would have better examples. And everybody trades differently, guys. Really, I'm just recording, and I hope to post these videos to just do something to start my content creation journey. I have no intention of making money online. I don't want to sell a course. I don't even want to open a Discord, but if enough of you guys ask me to open Discord, then I might, but I'm not gonna sell a course or anything. I just want to teach trading, and obviously as I get better as I go, learning more things, more truths about the markets, then I'm gonna spread that knowledge to you guys. But I've only been trading since the beginning of this year. Literally January 1st is when I started my actual trading journey. Is when I got on the charts for the first time and placed my first trade in a paper trading account on TradingView, and that's the day that started it all. So yeah, I am still a very new trader, guys. But I'd like to say that I've learned a lot from, some good traders on the internet. Shout out PB Trading Bros. They're a pair of W's. So, still looking for a good sweep of liquidity example. And if you found one yet and I haven't seen it, then clearly I am not the greatest trader at all. But my backtesting stats would say otherwise. But obviously backtesting is quite different from live trading, so exactly. Man, I'm seeing a whole lot of gap rejections, but that's not what this video is about. I'm trying to see like a really clean, right? Because I'm assuming that there's a lot of you watching who are noobs and have no idea what trading is. So I'm trying to give a very clear example, right? This has got to be one. All right. Finally found a decent one. So basically here, this big bear run happened on Friday, October 10th, 2025. And then obviously there were a bunch of people selling short down here, right? They got stopped out. But the idea with liquidity is that there are still orders there that have not been filled, but they're still queued up, right? So if price were to, for some reason, fall back down there, then those orders would get filled and then they would be entered into the market. And if that is true, then that is exactly what happened when on Thursday, the 20th of November in 2025, price moved back into this range, gathered those sell positions, and then manipulated upwards, causing them to get stopped out once again. That would be a valid example of what a liquidity sweep is, right? So this would be an example of sell-side liquidity. I would classify this as a major liquidity pool. Every trader might have slightly different variations in their classifications of different tiers of liquidity pools, but that's just what I rate this specific one. First of all, it's on a 4-hour, which is not the highest time frame, but it's a pretty decent time frame to respect price trends. And then, yeah, that's really how simple it is. Price dips down and then it comes back up, right? It doesn't continue this downtrend below this liquidity. It comes under and then it goes up. Man, I want to talk about gaps so bad, but I'm not going to do that in this video. The issue with liquidity, guys, this idea is that if it were true, then there's liquidity everywhere, right? And you will literally have no idea when price will reverse off of a sweep of liquidity, right? Because liquidity often gets disrespected and price continues in that direction. Therefore, it just makes me like question, is liquidity even real, right? But I do have good experiences with liquidity in live trades that I've taken. Let me see. Oh, this is a really good one. Oh. So the reason this is a really good one is because it just shows you how we didn't create an equal low. We didn't create a short low. We fully swept this liquidity right here, this low, and then that fueled us to go higher, right? That's a great example of a liquidity sweep. I personally do believe in those. I mean, it's just clear as day, like, right? Look at that. Just boom. Sweep, right? We hit an objective. All right. New objective. Boom. You already know, baby. So yeah, I think you guys get the point. This is a really good trend line. Look at all this upward movement. Wow. All right, guys. So yeah, that's all I wanted to show you guys today.